The episode was called The Sister from the Forest. It begins on a warm and peaceful day. Peppa, George, Mummy Pig, and Daddy Pig decide to go for a walk in the forest. Peppa loves walking along forest paths. She looks at flowers, picks up pretty leaves, and listens to birds singing in the trees. George walks beside her holding his favorite toy dinosaur. Sometimes he quietly roars and says, "Dinosaur!" They walk along a familiar path until Peppa suddenly notices a small clearing between the trees that she has never seen before. Peppa becomes curious and says, "Daddy, can we go and see what's over there?" Daddy Pig smiles and says, "Of course, Peppa, but don't go too far." Peppa and George run a little ahead. When they step onto the clearing, Peppa suddenly stops. Standing in the middle of the clearing is a little piglet who looks almost exactly like Peppa. She has the same pink face, the same small ears, and almost the same smile. Peppa looks surprised and says, "Hello!" The little piglet waves her hand and replies, "Hello!" George looks at her and becomes confused. "Peppa?" he says. Peppa laughs and replies, "No, George, that's not me." Just then, Mummy Pig and Daddy Pig walk closer. They also notice that the little piglet looks very similar to Peppa. "You two really do look alike," Mummy Pig says with a smile. The new girl smiles and says, "My name is Peppy." Peppa laughs. "Peppy? That sounds almost like Peppa." Peppy explains that she was walking in the forest with her family and decided to explore some of the small paths around the clearing. Peppa immediately suggests playing together. They start running across the clearing, jumping over small bumps in the grass, and playing hide and seek behind the trees. Sometimes they even get confused because they really do look so similar. George plays nearby with his dinosaur and roars happily, "Dinosaur!" Peppy laughs and says she likes dinosaurs too. After a while, Peppa and Peppy start jumping in the little puddles on the clearing. They laugh and try to jump as high as possible, so the water splashes everywhere. Daddy Pig watches them and says, "It looks like we have two Peppas today." Mummy Pig smiles and says, "And both of them love jumping in puddles." When the sun begins to go down a little, Mummy Pig says it is time to go home. Peppa feels a little sad and says, "It would be nice if I had a sister." Peppy smiles and replies, "We can meet again in the forest." Peppa and Peppy hug each other goodbye. "Bye, Peppy." "Bye, Peppa." Peppa, George, and their parents begin walking back along the forest path. Peppa turns around one more time and waves. Peppy is still standing in the clearing and waves back. As the family walks deeper along the path, Peppa smiles and says, "Today, I met almost a sister." George lifts his dinosaur happily and says, "Two Peppas!"